This weekend was a rallying of the Association of Alan Gray Fellows. We called it the Imbizo, which is a Zulu word which means precisely that. So the purpose of the event was to bring as many of our community as possible to one place to talk about where this community is going, what the vision was when we started, and to create connections, mostly to create a fun environment for them to talk to each other, to engage, to be inspired by each other.
So all the fellows who have now graduated from the program are now alumni come together as professional people to see where their professional paths are going to take them and how they're going to find synergy between them.
To me it was worthwhile because my expectations were exceeded, especially from the first session, which was on Friday. The speakers just set the bar higher than what I expected, and from there it never dropped.
Well, I think we're all still finding our feet and feeling where the association of the alumni is going to go. And what's exciting for me is that that's driven by us. So we're taking ownership of it, and there's a lot of alumni with a lot of passion and energy for this.
Our expectation of the community is that they live into the mission and vision of the foundation. They are the reason why the organization was even started. So in many ways we know what the objectives are, but we don't know everything that will happen yet. And I think that's part of the exciting nature of this event, is kind of watching the future being created.
Like a year plan, and then every month.
I think after this weekend, what inspires me especially is the commitment of Alan Gray Fellows to each other. And I think that is the ultimate result, because they can be committed to the foundation, they can be committed to a vision, they can be committed to the brand or the idea of an association of Alan Gray Fellows. But I think when they're committed to each other and to supporting each other's dreams, then that's a real victory, because that's where the life of the organization sits.
You're reminded that you have potential. You might not see it coming through in the corporate world, but where you find your passion, where you find your love. And I think this weekend for me was just about igniting that passion, igniting the spirit of entrepreneurship amongst each other. But that's what it's all about, being the change you want to see in the world, in your world, where you are with what you have.
So I think it's been an amazing weekend of just the connection of fellows, or what we've called in one of our objectives, an engaged community. I think the leadership definitely stepped up. We voted in a new exec who immediately had to assume office and begin to leading things.
You guys are now officially part of the cabinet. So you're now going to be carrying this vision forward and carrying the association.
One of the beauties of youth maybe is not understanding their own power. But what was especially inspiring for me was the mini TEDx that we had this morning. I think we saw 3 individuals who are absolutely passionate about what they do and who put a stake in the ground and have begun kind of making headway.
The power is with us not to accept the status quo. The power is with us not to accept that if you are in government, you become corrupt.
My interest is more in something, it's a word that I came up with, but I can't say I coined it, entrepreneurs. So obviously art, it's entrepreneurs who make the world a more beautiful place.
85%, that's what, 42 million people in South Africa can't afford medical aid. Then you have to go public. And there's no alternative. So I started thinking, well, that can't be. We should be able to create an alternative.
10 years from now, if we assume that it grows at about 30 or 40 people, I think there'll be about 500 people. We've had a jamboree with 200 fellows in one room, which was quite overwhelming. So I think a room with 500 super brainy, inspired, driven individuals who've already actually begun being successful will be a fairly incredible experience. We'll see a community where people are beginning to live what we set out to do. And I think by then there'll be a group that has very distinctly emerged, leading in business, government and society. 10 years from now, I think we'll see an association that starts to tell the foundation what to do and how it should be done, and setting standards for us, which I think will be exciting.
I think in 10 years' time it would be great to have a larger association, because larger is more powerful, where pretty much all your resources, or their expertise, financial, whatever. Yeah, that would be amazing to see.
So I always get reminded at gatherings like this that we can change the world if we want to. Most of the time we're just lazy on our own, in our own worlds. But when I see the different skills in the room, it's like if we 3 of us just got together on one thing, we could impact it. So imagine when it's 300.
The association's mission is really to achieve long-term, economic and societal world. And in real life, that just means that there are people who are choosing to be custodians of this nation and this continent. So our mission is really to see South African society changed, economically, socially, and politically.